Hello and welcome to Brand X Reviews. For this one, we have The Core.
Yes.
So, we're going to be talking about the Running Man remake, which up till recently I had zero intention of watching, interest in, just based on the fact that remakes nowadays usually kind of suck, not just because they're made for like modern audiences.
They just do them too much.
Yeah, and I was kind of thinking as well about like the Total Recall remake, which I didn't really have any interest in watching. I should probably remedy that because I've heard okay things about it, but I tend to think if I was to watch
Yeah,
that,
it's okay.
yeah, well, I tend to think if I did watch it, I would just be thinking, I wish I was just watching the original. And I get it; it's based on the book that the film was based on, and that's what is happening with this film. It's based on the Stephen King, Richard Bachman book, The Running Man.
I mean, I would say that's the thing with the remake of Total Recall as well. It is at least different enough to be like a different film. It's not just the same film, just told shittier. It is like its own thing.
Yeah.
Just unfortunately, it is like a kind of B-list sort of action film. You get what I mean? You know, it's not anything special on its own.
Yeah, I do like Colin Farrell, who was in the Total Recall remake. So if there was a selling point, if I was going to watch it, that would be one of them because he's pretty good in a lot of films. But at least this one, the Running Man, Glenn Powell, is really enjoyable to watch in movies. We watched a couple with him in recent times. We watched Top Gun Maverick. He's very good in that, and Twisters, which is really surprisingly enjoyable. It wasn't like an amazing film, but it was way better than... It was an unexpected and enjoyable summer film last year, I thought. And much of that was due to his kind of character and what he brings to it, kind of thing. So I think hopefully you'll get that with this movie because he's playing the Ben Richards character, that Schwarzenegger played in the original. But it's going to be different enough because it's based on the original book, not just a remake of the movie, but with obvious nods to the movie as well. So, because when I came out of your house a couple of weeks ago, the trailer had just dropped, I think, a day or two before, and I thought I'll wait until me and you were together until I watched it so we could kind of have our own opinion on it. And I think it's safe to say we're both kind of interested by it.
I mean, I'm interested. I think I was a little less blown away than you were. Not that I disliked it. I'm just like I say, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was burnt out on like remakes. Like, I really hope this is good.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was blown away by it, but I know what you mean. I think I was a bit more interested, kind of
enthusiastic. That might be a better way of putting it.
Yeah, because I mean,
I was enthusiastic, just not quite to the same degree. I think I'm just a bit more jaded on this.
Yeah. No, I mean, to be fair, I can very much see where you're coming from, and to be fair, if there is any kind of difference between my take and your take, it's very much like maybe 1 or 2 points less. Because I'm the same, really. I'm not really all that interested in remakes. We were just talking about the Highlander remake before this, and that should be something that should be, because it's Chad Stahelski's involved, or was anyway. Russell Crowe, Henry Cavill. It's all good stuff, but remakes, they just don't seem to. Like I say, a lot of the time you end up watching them and thinking, I just wish I was watching the original. But
I say I usually like a remake that at least makes an attempt to be kind of different. Because, like, for example, the remake of The Fog, like the original Fog, way better than the remake, but at least the remake is different enough that you can watch it kind of in its own right. It's just like a slightly shit kind of horror movie without it being like taking anything away.
I should watch that, to be fair. Last week I was watching the original and then the remake of Assault on Precinct 13, and I like them both. For the reasons you're saying, I mean, not to go off on a tangent, this is relevant. The remake of that is its own movie with enough like connective like nods to the original that it's definitely a remake. Because I know it said that the original is a remake of Rio Bravo. It's not a remake of Rio Bravo. It's just heavily inspired by it. You could also say it's a remake of Night of the Living Dead. It's clearly not, but it's heavily inspired by it. You can see all the connections there. But
just like Star Wars New Hope is not a remake of
Wizard of Oz.
What is it? Yeah.
Yeah, and all the other stuff.
Oh, I was thinking more like the samurai films it was supposed to be based on as well. Like,
yeah.
It's inspired by it. It's not like a one-for-one.
Yeah. Whereas, like, Assault on Precinct 13 is clearly a remake, but it does its own thing and is quite different. And is in its own right is a very good film. In some ways, as much of a heathen as I'm saying this, in some ways I kind of prefer the remake to the original Assault on Precinct 13. And I love the original film. I just think they were both really good. So the point is anyway, not like I say, I'm not going off on a tangent. That dynamic you could potentially have with this, and there's potential for it. My kind of concern is Edgar Wright directing it. It could be a bit goofy, like goofier than you'd want it to be. And I did kind of get that impression watching this trailer. Like, his movies do... Go on.
I mean, I have actually got like another opinion of it, which I haven't really told you. I've spoken to Buff behind your back, and he was saying like he's absolutely not going to watch it. It's bringing him traumatic flashbacks, especially when the guy's there like pumping away his super soaker and then like attacks people. That was like triggering Buff something real.
Well, yeah, it did remind him of the time when Topher got him. But yeah, to be fair, I was thinking about that. That's like, that could be like an isolated bit in the movie that's very kind of Edgar Wright-like, where you just basically got a bunch of adult males resembling little boys, because you kind of get that in a lot of his movies. It's kind of like man-baby characters, which I get it. If it's done for like comedic effect, it can be funny. I mean, I like his Shaun of the Dead, and I like Hot Fuzz as well. They're really good because of the comedies. Whereas with Running Man, it might not work brilliantly, but then again, it might really work. It might be a surprise kind of element to the film, and done in a certain way, and done not liberally, but just kind of done when it counts. To have like goofy moments like that, it could work.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it seems like the moment is going somewhere, because he's basically like pumping up this super soaker and like pops out, and these guys are stood on like an electrified floor, so
yeah.
Like the water gets them kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think he's potentially the right guy for the movie as well, for directing it. If it works out, because he's done enough good stuff. I don't dislike his movies. There's some that I haven't even watched that didn't look like they were for me, but the ones that I have seen, I thought were pretty decent. And do you remember he did Spaces? Did he direct every episode of that? That was with Simon Pegg. That was kind of a precursor to Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz.
I haven't a clue.
Yeah, I know he was like the main guy that was doing that. I don't know if he directed like every episode, but he's got a good knowledge of, you know, what's come before. Because the point is with Space, there were loads of like references. It wasn't just sci-fi stuff. That it was like loads of movie, like Taxi Driver references, like randomly thrown in. So as a movie fan and as somebody who knows good movies, that's a positive, I suppose, to have Edgar Wright doing this. It does look quite big budget as well, but in the right way, not big budget like Indiana Jones and the whatever the hell it was.
Dial of Dyslexia. Sorry, Dial of Destiny.
Yeah, where they just throw like silly money at it and you still get a shit product at the end of the day. This looks like they've either not got a massive budget, but they spent it wisely, or they've had quite a big budget and it comes across. Like I said, I'm just getting that from the trailer, but no, I'm hoping.
Like I say, that's the problem nowadays. It's like, even if a film's a moderate success, if you've put like silly money behind it, like millions and millions, you know, like this is enough to buy a small fucking country levels of money. It's like you're never going to make that back. There's just not the people there for it.
Yeah.
So that's been the problem with the Marvel movies. Like, they've been budgeted so insanely and they waste so much money on reshoots and stuff.
Marketing as
It's
well.
like, this would have to be absolute gangbusters. Like, everybody goes to see it. Everybody loves it. Everybody goes back to see it a second time. Everybody gets it on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. And then they probably only just break even.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does make you wonder because you kind of get the impression that what's going on with a lot of these studios is like a money laundering operation almost going on with the way that they keep
I
doing the
mean, you
same
won't be
thing.
surprised sometimes, would you?
Yeah. But one thing that kind of is wishful thinking with me with this movie being good is just because I do miss going to the cinema and not just going to the cinema, but like looking forward to a film coming out. I mean, on this channel, we used to do videos all the time covering like the latest news and
Mm.
so on. Maybe we had a bit more time on our hands than we do now, but I could find the time to be fair now if there was like good franchises like on the go with like sequels coming out enough of them.
Unfortunately, we are entering the era of slop, as they put it.
Yeah, well, Buff and Turf, I know about that, but it just doesn't really feel that way. That you can just start rolling a video and start talking about the latest news or whatever, or what you think about a trailer like this. This
At
is quite rare.
least not without it being an angry rant, which I don't think anybody's like.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it might make entertaining viewing for people that kind of do that, but unless you've got like a real point to make, I just don't bother doing stuff like that. But yeah, like I say, it'd be nice to have a film to look forward to this year because there hasn't really been much. There's the new Superman film, which I'm hearing good things from reliable people. I might go see it this coming weekend, but it's not. I'm kind of against superhero movies. To be fair, I haven't really watched any apart from the Batman since like 2019. Um, but
I'm just so done with the cinema in general, which I feel kind of bad because it sucks for like people who own cinemas who aren't the ones responsible for this. But like the number of shit like second-rate films.
yeah, you go to them and you just end up kind of underwhelmed. But
It's like
sometimes
I'm
you
sorry
get
if I wanted to get lectured and like have really shit entertainment, I'd go to some kind of lecture about a fucking social issue. I wouldn't go to see a film.
yeah.
I go to a film to be entertained.
Well, me and you started going to the local cinema, which I used to hugely turn my nose up to go and see any movie. I always said I'd rather see the worst film ever made in like a cinema in like a city, like a proper like big cinema, than the best film ever made like in this local small cinema that we've got. Whereas now it's just like I don't feel compelled to go to all my way out to see a lot of these movies because you end up just like disappointed so often, spending time and money going to see them. If I can just go see a film that's just like at a cinema that's like a few streets over from where I live. So, but I mean, I did that with 28 Years Later with low because I had low expectations, but I was quite pleasantly surprised. But I thought it was really good. So you do get lucky sometimes. That's what I'm hoping for this Running Man movie that come November time I'll be able to organise some kind of get together with a few friends. We'll go and have a good day out, and this will feature as part of that good day out. Because we used to have that all the time. We used to be able to go to the cinema like once or twice a month at least, reliably, and have a good time. And it's not like me that's like changed. It's just these movies, like you say, we're entering. We've come from the message era where every movie has to be fulfilling ESG quotas to push the message. Now you kind of seeing that being taken away a little bit, which is great. But what we're left with now is just, like you say, slop, which is kind of becoming the official term for the era that we're in now. It's just an era of half-arsed made movies that are just there to fill a weekend slot for a movie, for a cinema.
Well, like I say, I think that's part of the problem with them, like driving out like a lot of talent and stuff. With like, fucking Me Too and all this shit. It's like nobody's good coming to take over from them.
Yeah.
So you've just got the diversity hires that you've had.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, unfortunately, they're not really up to the job. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess we just all fucked.
Yeah. So not to be negative, I mean, like I say, that's kind of the reason why there's like doubt with this movie. If there is any doubt, I personally am cautiously optimistic, and I'm gonna hopefully go see this film when it comes out. So it looks great, anyway. I think from everything that we've had, especially, but even that aside, if this film had come out a few years ago during a time when we were getting legitimately good films, I'm thinking this one wouldn't have stood out as looking crap. So yeah, fingers crossed. Any other news from the core? I'll cut it short there because the video's dragged on a bit longer than I'd anticipated. But yeah, Running Man. I've got not a channel. I've got a playlist on this channel for the Running Man because I've done a few videos in the past on this, and there's a collection of other videos as well to do with the original movie. So if you want to check that out, Brand X Reviews. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Yes.
That was the core that you just heard. So the core is in this one. That's the main opening. In fact, I'll start again because that's a bit goofy. People turn it off straight away. They'll be like, right, fuck this, I'm not watching this video. More so than they normally do.